Welcome to the acclaimed podcast, The Deep Dive, featuring your esteemed hosts, Andy Monitor and Drew Dinzik, powered by BetSperts.
Welcome to The Deep Dive. Not an especially good weekend for me from a betting standpoint, although I had just an incredible weekend from like a life standpoint. Absolutely super fucking fun wedding in the Bahamas. Just a nonstop party. It was so great. Beautiful. Ton of fun. Back at home, ready to cook. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, even though we are late again. Apologies.
It's the holidays. It's not the wedding season. I'm not going to even.
The holiday season.
It's a whoop-de-doo and skeedly-dee. But yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's traveling, holidays. There's some weirdness. We have Saturday games coming up. I've got in-laws coming. Oh my God, it's going to be a disaster. We'll see what we get to, but we're going to do this show today. We're going to do halftime tonight, and we'll try to get back on somewhat of a reasonable schedule by, I don't know, the wild card round. Well, bless you. Well, I'm serious. Like, there's a bunch of holidays. All the holidays are on weekends.
They're on weekends this year, right? Christmas is going to be wild. The other ones I'm going to be fine. I'll be okay with.
I'm not a big New Year's guy. Like, it's a dumb reason to drink.
Oh, it's amateur hour.
It's the worst. Out of all the holidays, it is the worst day to be super hungover. There's so much college football and shit to watch that day. I used to, and I might actually still go do this. There's a bar that has a very good New Year's Day party that I used to enjoy. So I might have to do that.
Ooh.
Yeah, even when I was young, I was always a Halloween over New Year by a million.
By
a million.
Yeah. St. Patty's Day and New Year's Eve that's reserved for amateur hour.
St. Patty's, the only St. Patrick's Days I've had, and I've had fun on a few, but there was a stretch of like 3 consecutive years I was in Vegas for March Madness that the St. Patrick's Day was on like Thursday and Friday and Saturday of March Madness.
That's pretty fun.
So like St. Patrick's Day out in like Fremont, St. Patrick's Day at the New York. Like those are fun, but we digress and we get into the recap of the slate.
I think you had a better weekend than I did. I got my ass kicked yesterday.
I had a winning weekend. Yeah.
Yeah. A bunch of things did not bounce my way. I don't have any more commentary on Thursday night's game. New England sucked. Their offense is trash. Buffalo was. Wait, what was that? That wasn't even Thursday.
No. Rams.
Oh yeah.
Raiders
suck. Josh McDaniels is trash, and I cannot believe that they blew that lead to fucking Baker Mayfield. That was ridiculous.
I was still
outcome.
I'm still not 100%. This is the sickest I've been in a decade plus, but I'm feeling good enough where I'm fine. Don't shed a tear for me. But I was still feeling not great, and since we didn't do halftime. Like, I watched the first half a little. I put in a Rams plus 11. Didn't watch the second half. We watched some TV with the wife. Fell asleep, woke up, and I'm like, oh, shit, I wonder if they were able to get close enough to cash my big dog price there. And I looked, they won. I'm like, well, fuck, now I got to go back and, like, look at drive charts and figure out what actually happened because this isn't normal. Like, because they looked bad in the first half. They couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to put more blame on the Raiders,
100%.
I'm going to give credit to Baker.
No, let's apologize. Okay, you know what, Andy? The best thing that could happen.
It was one good drive, though.
The best thing that could happen.
And it was a great drive, to be fair.
I have my desire to see Baker Mayfield kind of get his comeuppance this season has been satisfied in spades. I'm good. I'm full. It's
been sated.
I'm full.
Sated.
I'm full. I don't need to see Baker struggle, suffer anymore. What would be good now would be for him to have a little bit of a redemption arc to where he gets signed and gets a chance to start next year so he can do it all again. I just want it to be like Thanksgiving, where we get to heap plates betting against Baker Mayfield at the start of every new season for the next couple of years. So that was that's
about it for Thursday. The Baker cycle begins anew on a new coast.
Absolutely ridiculous that they won that game, though. Oh my God, hysterically bad.
I looked at it and I took out like the last drive and I said, you know what, they probably deserve the cover.
Yes, I agree.
They definitely deserve to cover my 11.
Definitely.
But winning it was still weird.
Our blind second half under came home too.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. What do you know?
We might bet the Cardinals right now.
I kind of want to. I don't
second half, I mean.
Moving so heavy.
I have bet the Cardinals plus 110. Just
okay.
Getting cart way ahead of the horse. Small bet. It's not a huge angle, but it should be Cardinals -1. Cardinals -1.5.
If Kyler Murray is engaged in trying through the first half of this football game, we're doubling down Cardinals because if he shows up, then Cardinals win this one.
All right, on to Sunday then.
Minnesota Vikings, not so great. It's
kind of how we called the game, though. We said that the only thing that really didn't go according to plan was the scoring for Minnesota. I mean, all in all, Kirk Cousins had 425 yards. Justin Jefferson set the all-time Vikings receiving record for yardage in a game. And this does not count against Minnesota's one score record because the Lions kicked the late field goal. So this
what that did, though?
They lost by 11.
You know what that did? Busted the freaking Wong parlay, which was not super nice of the Lions to do that to us. Lions in this game were superlative offensively. Jared Goff was just operating at a very high level for the first 3 quarters of this game. It looked like this was potentially going to be runaway Detroit. There was a Jameson Williams sighting, JMO, right off the bat. JMO Williams and Jamal Williams. They got the 2 JAM Williams going for them.
One, please.
Yeah, just like, do you know the Jets have 2 QUINs Williams? There's a Quincy and a Quinnen Williams on the Jets. Very, the Williams are taking over the NFL, except for the Joneses who own the Patriots. The general offensive effort that the Lions put forward in this game was impressive. It was very impressive. Dan Campbell, he coached this team up. The Lions are a couple of bounces away from being really, really much, in the mix.
Their playoff chances are up to like 20% by somebody's metrics this morning.
Yeah.
It's like, that's nuts.
Yeah. I don't want to comment too much on the Vikings. Like, they are who we thought they were. And the Lions put them in the corner. Justin Jefferson, though, should be meaningful favorite. I saw Jalen Hurts is still second in that market, which, okay, what? Huh? Okay, fine. Jalen Hurts doesn't have the lead in like any statistical category except for interception percentage. Like, I have no idea why he would be the offensive player of the year. That said, Justin Jefferson takes a meaningful lead over Tyreek Hill thanks to yesterday's production. Back to the Lions. They're live for a playoff spot. They're live for the 7th seed. I don't think they're going to win the North. I think the Vikings can take care of business this week against the Colts, and basically that wins them the division, I believe. We'll check on the map there. But Lions are not dead, and ball bounced their way a couple times differently this season. They're clearly a wild card team in what is a very weak NFC. Is there anything about this Lions resurgence that you want to point to in particular that has surprised you or that you think deserves a special credit?
No, I mean, we knew. St. Brown is better than we thought he'd be. Swift has been maybe a little better than I thought he'd be. I think Goff is the key to maybe how good the offense has been. Add in a healthy Jameson Williams to this team all year, and this is a pretty fun offense. It's still, it's still a team that has its flaws. It needs some more defense. It needs some pieces here and there. It struggled a little when it started losing guards at a clip of like 2 per game for a stretch there. But we knew good offensive line, good receiver 1. You're getting a receiver 2 coming back mid-season. You just need Goff not to be a total shit pumpkin. And when he's played well, and yes, he plays well indoors, this offense is very lively. This defense leaves a lot to be desired at times, but it's coming along. And yeah, this is a team that's depending which direction the Packers go next season, they could be your fourth favorite. If the Bears make moves, Bears make moves in free agency around Justin Fields, and they have a legit wide receiver one threat, and they've added like a good left tackle, maybe another piece to another piece of the offensive line. It's like, the Vikings are favorites to win the division, and then it's kind of a mess between the other three teams, and there'll be a spot probably where the Packers are your fourth favorite if it's Jordan Love.
Can you make the argument that the Lions are... Somebody posed this question to me today, so I'm going to turn around and ask you because I thought it was fascinating. Are they the fourth best team in the NFC right now?
I mean, just by power rankings, yeah. Like, you would not favor them over the Niners.
No.
Even with Purdy. You would not favor, obviously, the Eagles, Cowboys.
Even
with T.Y. Hilton.
Yeah.
That does not give them a negative. But, like, name another team.
I would favor them over the Vikings, over the Bucks, over the Seahawks, over the Commanders, over the Giants, overall.
Yeah, everybody in the South, everybody in their division.
Yes.
Everybody in the West, save the Niners. Seahawks are close, but they're starting to fade a little with some things going haywire on that defense. And then, the Giants and Commanders are close, but still behind them. So they're the fourth best team in the NFC by power rankings, and they still got to fight tooth and nail to get into the playoffs. That's how the NFL goes. It's a tough racket. I think they get there. I don't know.
We were, I was blown away by the fact that the Lions were just barely the best team in EPA per dropback heading into, from week 8 to heading into this last week 14. They are now clearly number one in best EPA per dropback. They have put distance on them between themselves and the likes of the Niners, Chiefs, and Dolphins and Cowboys. So big game for the Lions. Big game for their chances. Decent chance that they make the playoffs. Although at the same time, if they turtle now and blow one against the Jets or the Panthers coming up here, I don't think any of us are really going to be surprised because that feels kind of Lions-y. That's awesome. We'll get to Brock Purdy and his family. They got a lot of screen time yesterday.
They got a lot of screen time.
The
dad was like crying after the third touchdown. I mean, he had to be beside himself. It was awesome.
Yeah, I heard he played baseball too. I heard that a lot, actually. Let's keep moving down the list here. Jets, Bills was interesting. You had a close game that was always going under the total. And I had a bet on the over. So I did not enjoy this one. Yeah.
This is my loss.
Didn't enjoy this one. Never really had a chance to go over. The first half weather was more problematic than the second half weather, as you can see just by looking at the box score. Things kind of opened up a little in the second half. But yes, it was windy. It was wet. It was like 33 degrees. And nobody looked comfortable. Josh Allen was struggling in the passing game, throwing completable balls, which I think was more weather than him. Mike White, kind of a heroic effort from him in this one.
Yeah, he was in and out of. I feel like I got 3 separate notifications that he was out of the game and then back in again.
There was at least 2 that I saw.
He took like a porn star pounding. And I mean the one hit didn't even get flagged.
Yeah, they were all technically legal, but boy, oh boy, did some guys like the Bills created
the one probably could have been flagged, especially considering what they called in the Sunday night game.
Yeah, of course. It could have been, but I thought they were legal. I thought the Bills were making
I'm
tackles.
always fine leaning towards hitting them and not getting flagged.
The one that I was more upset with, and we'll get to it, was the one that knocked Kenny Pickett out of the game against the Ravens. But we don't need to talk about that yet.
No.
Mike White was pretty amazing in this game, and they still couldn't really do anything because there's that much of a gap between them and the Bills. Josh Allen, I thought deserved more credit for the way he played in this one than he's getting. Like, people are still kind of not really putting, elevating him to the level of MVP conversation that I think I make it very clearly a 3-man race, and the market is saying, no, it's 2. That's fine. People will point to he's turned the ball over too many times. He's got the same number of interceptions as Mahomes. Like he's going to get the 1 seed in the exceptionally tough AFC. Like if he pulls that off, he deserves more because he's basically doing it by himself, as far as I can tell you. The big problem for the Jets, in my opinion, was their offensive line was pretty brutal in this one. They were giving the free rushers like just absolute clean shots at Mike White, and Mike White was standing in there and delivering catchable balls to his wide receivers. There was a drive where Mike White made like 3. How in the hell did he do that plays? Right? And the Jets were at like the 40. And it's like, okay, yeah. if you have to create miracles just to get you into maybe field goal range, like you're in trouble. But that was sort of the way the game played, as far as I can tell you.
We said that, and we said that in the preview episode too. We said, Mike White's not good, but this is like the 3rd consecutive week where if he's in the game, this is a secondary he can probably beat up on a little. The weather didn't help, and definitely didn't help getting, hit 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Offensive line probably was the difference in this game.
Yeah.
Because, maybe if they were pressed a little more, the Bills would have done more. And it wouldn't have been this, maybe, the Jets score a little more. The Bills have to go into press mode, and they put up 30 points because they can. But for the most part, the Bills didn't have to do that much because they were able to get to Mike White so much.
Yeah, that said, Josh Allen made a couple first down conversions with his legs that were like, wow plays. Josh Allen makes 2-3 absolute wow plays every single game, just like Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes is mostly doing it with his arm. Josh is mostly doing it with his legs, but there were some unbelievable spot plays. The play of the game that really kind of flipped the outcome was a weird little 4th down faking going for it and moving Dawson Knox under center and getting Mosley to jump over the center and getting him off sides. And I don't know why Mosley jumped over the center and tackled Dawson Knox around the neck. But he did, and that gave them more life on that drive where he eventually made another incredible play, scoring a touchdown. So that was basically all that the Bills needed to get a win. They move on to marching their way towards the 1 seed, although a couple of tough tests left to go here. So things are not decided yet that they're going to get an extra week to get right before eventually facing a divisional foe. So let's move on. You got any thoughts on what happened in Baltimore and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, like you said, the hit that was that was important for the game. It probably was the game because as much as we've dogged on Pickett a little, he has looked competent. He's better when he's not, way behind. That's been better for him, where he doesn't have to get high risk. Because he instantly just turns into like Johnny Gunslinger and starts making just wildly risky decisions. So when the game state is, semi-normal or 50-50-ish, he's been quietly efficient. He looked very good a couple weeks ago. He's looked good. And Mitch Trubisky, for everything he's done right, he turned into Johnny Gunslinger. And those picks were that was the game. The Steelers were the better team.
Yeah, I thought so.
And a lot of that, a lot of that rotated around the fact that Lamar wasn't playing. But that's life. That's how the game state was starting with. And really, the Steelers were the better team. You throw those picks in the red zone, you ain't going to win the game. It was a close game. It was low scoring. It was ugly. Really, really wanted the Steelers to win.
Yeah,
because, me too. And it's not like the Cincinnati Bengals were super deserving of that cover, much less just like apparently easily covering if you didn't watch the game and just looked at the score, because that game was close. That the fact that Cincinnati won, I was just dying that Mitch was doing that, because we could have taken a big swing. I probably could have gotten Ravens at a decent price. Had
Yeah.
both of them at like 3-1, but such is life. It looks like more Huntley going forward, and
concussion protocol.
I think it's Huntley again. We'll see. I'm
You
like
think?
0 for 9 on predicting quarterbacks.
Well, if you think it's Huntley and you're 0 for 9, then I'm going to count on it being Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
Anthony Brown? Did
Oh
you know
yeah,
he was the
Huntley.
backup?
Huntley is.
Huntley's in concussion protocol. Yeah.
I guess what I meant to say. It will not be
Lamar.
Lamar.
Not be Lamar.
Yeah.
Okay.
It will not be Lamar.
Yeah.
Anthony
Mitch
Brown is not a name I'm super familiar with. Guys.
Anthony Brown. Do you remember where he went to college?
Brown?
No. Like he was like, wasn't he in like, or was he really, really, really bad for the Oregon Ducks? Like why? Like how is he in the league?
BC.
Oh, BC. He was Boston College. Okay. Okay.
Dan says he sucked at Oregon. Maybe he played at both. This
That's
is going to be
what I
the worst part. So
he played BC and Oregon. Okay.
We're gonna veer. We're gonna pull the car off to the side of the road, and we're gonna talk about like, hey,
transfer portal. This is the worst part of it.
Yeah, because we always used to be like, oh, he was I remember Matt Ryan at BC.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, the old Mitty Lion. Yeah. The old Hilltopper. Yeah.
Now it's like, oh man, he was such a good, Gopher Sooner Hilltopper Eagle. Because he played 5 teams.
Right.
He was an Eagle Bulldog Wildcat. It's going to be a pain in the ass because these guys, as soon as they get in a situation they don't like, they just transfer.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
What game are we on? All right, that's all I have to say about that.
I special F you to Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah,
the game was winnable, my man. What are we doing? I cannot believe that he played them out of that game the way he did. The red zone picks were just like every time you turn around, it's like, oh, cool, they're at the 20 again. Oh, turnover. Shoot. Maybe that was his bad. No, that wasn't the bad one. No, that one was worse. Okay, that one is worse now. It was a very, very rough hang watching Mitch Trubisky play that game. He was 22 of 30, Dandy. He only had 8 incompleted passes. Problem was 3 of those were the most important plays of the game as they were completed to the other team in scoring territory. So not great. Nothing about Baltimore that I took away from this game changes my opinion of them. They are
I would like to
flat
give
out
J.K.
frauds.
Dobbins some credit.
Okay.
He was good. That's
okay. Yeah, but he looks broken. He's running with a busted tire, with a flat tire.
Look at what Gil's saying. Sounds like a Gruden play call. Eagle, Wildcat soon. I like that. All right.
Too.
What's up next?
All right. Philadelphia absolutely ran amok on the New York Giants, and another special FU to the Giants for the garbage time touchdown that took their team total over. What are we doing, guys? Tyrod Taylor comes in the game, and you're like, okay, well, he's just going to be here to
just let's not get anybody hurt.
And no, they played for a meaningless touchdown for whatever reason. That mattered to some, Andy. It mattered to some. Ultimately, just a absolute hot mess of a game.
This is a fun one because I had Philly -7.
Oh, okay. That was good play by you.
Yeah, this was just like right off the bat. I'm like, oh, this is fun. And he was injured. A lot of my handicap was just I don't like how the Giants match up offensively against the Eagles defense. I said I don't know that the Eagles just truck up and down the field like they did the previous week against Tennessee. That turned out to be wrong. They did. Hurts really didn't even have to do a ton. He still had 77 on the ground. Sanders, though, big day for him. Hurts was great. Brown was great. Smith was great. And Barkley, like I said, not good. Little hurt as well. So maybe didn't get all the opportunities. And then the game state got away from him. Clearly his worst game of the year.
Yeah. You know what else was a big FU? 7 of the Giants' points came on that ridiculous punt block.
Yeah. I know. Like,
I mean, really,
like,
just a really annoying game. Just annoying on every level.
Even for me,
God.
it was like looking at it, I'm like, God, this game should be like 35-0 or this.
Yes, that is. I feel like that was the most likely outcome of having, even after having watched it. A bunch of blown plays. Jalen Hurts padded his MVP case pretty aggressively. The drop kick.
So turns out that is the most penal penalty, more than DPI. They don't even. I thought, I'm like, all right, maybe they'll move him back 15 yards and make him re-kick. You just give them the ball there. I'm like, holy shit, that is a bad penalty. I'm like,
it's a really bad penalty. It's really bad.
That was, and to his defense, what else do you do there? In that split second, you don't have time to think. You just swing your leg like you've been trained to do since you were a little punter.
Yeah, because
and the refs had to like huddle up for a while on that one.
Well, presumably, if you don't kick it, it's a live ball, and they can pick it up and run it in for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So kicking it's not the worst decision you can make.
I guess the decision is to fall on it, but that's about the same as kicking it.
Yeah.
It's fourth down, so I don't know. Yeah. Just the decision is don't drop the ball.
Don't drop the ball. That's your only job if you're the punter before kicking it.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts padded his MVP case. Nick Sirianni padded his.
Jalen
Hurts padded his MVP case. Although, my goodness gracious, I'm struggling with this. I'm really struggling. Like the only things he's leading in are interception percentage. He is the lowest, and like old school shit like quarterback rating and QB wins. Like, are we still really giving quarterbacks MVP for QB wins and quarterback rating? Like,
no.
Aaron Rodgers got it for having very similar kind of blueprint, but he was also Aaron fucking Rodgers. And
I mean, does Peter King still have a vote?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, he for sure values quarterback wins. Like, people that are 70, yeah. He's 65. I feel bad now.
Oh, okay.
But like, people who are that age are for sure looking at just like, he's a leader of men. They wouldn't be 11-2, whatever without him. 12-1.
Yeah. I think ultimately he may get a lot of second place votes.
Yeah, he should be in the conversation.
Oh, of course.
We're not saying don't talk about him.
No, but he's like minus. He's like, yeah, he's like he's. I can do the math.
Is there credit on is there value on Patrick Mahomes right now at a plus number?
Yes, there is, in my opinion. Now, people will talk themselves out of voting for him though, because he's lost head-to-head to the Bills and he's not going to have the 1 seed. Even though he's still navigated that's again, like, I know, I get it. I get it. I am valuing things that the voters do not value, and that is a crucial mistake you do not make when you're betting into these award markets. You think like the voters, but the Jalen Hurts' schedule compared to Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, it's not even on the same universe. He has faced nobodies all season long, and his biggest task has been, hey, go put away this 3-touchdown lead. Like, he's not having to come back against elite competition and make game-winning plays all that often. It is rare that they find themselves in those situations because they have such an amazing coach who is now minus 400 for coach of the year, Nick Sirianni. So that one is going in my favor.
Price on him?
20, I believe, is the best I have in hand.
I got next to nothing on him at good numbers, but I did look, and early in the season, I got a decently hard swing at 750. So I just want that to just give me one award.
Yeah,
that would pay for a lot of
other bad ones. Yes, agreed.
The other problem, and congrats, Matt, 22-1, Matt.
Yes,
Summer Pod.
So
the other one that would be nice that makes me a little nervous now.
Yeah,
and it wasn't. They didn't let me bet much on this, but Bet US is basically not letting me bet now on that account.
Oh,
and that's where hopefully they're still letting me cash out.
Yeah,
because that's where the Justin Jefferson one is. That's that would be nice.
Ooh, 20. You had 20-1 there. You were the first 25. person that brought that up. 25. I don't know if anyone can prove a better number than that. You were way ahead on that.
I think some people early in season there were some other prices that people grabbed, but
You were first there. You were so early.
What else we got?
Well, real quick, I wanted to kind of comment. I have two things that I'm playing defense on that are big positions right now. Sirianni Coach of the Year is one. Eagles most wins is the other. After I kind of had baby temper tantrum about not getting the good Eagles win total over prices, I was like, fine, I'm just going to go for the long shots then. And that was how I kind of got where I ended up with all of my preseason Eagles positions. And one of them was most wins at 20-1. Papa Cal's 22-21 and JJ. Okay, we'll do some victory lapping when it's time. It's
Sam, this is the worst part about betting on betting on credit books is when you get the boot and you had good futures there.
Not good. That's why I don't ever play futures on credit.
It's heartbreaking.
It happens a lot.
I know some people who get good numbers on golf way ahead of time, and then they're like, I lost that book, and then they watch Scotty win the Masters.
Yeah, that happens.
All right, what's up next?
Cleveland Cincy happened.
And like I said, I'm happy since he won.
Few winners.
I would never have bet Cincinnati as a side. If you just look at what happened, I guess. Cincinnati outgained Cleveland by like 20 yards. Nick Chubb looks bad, by the way. That was like my biggest takeaway was Nick Chubb looks like he's tired
out of gas
of running the ball.
He's been carrying a 22-man team, Andy.
Yeah.
Watson carrying 21 other guys every week. Well, was he okay?
Yeah. He was better than the week before. He had to throw the ball an awful lot. It wasn't great. I'm not saying he was good.
He started very slowly. He started like his first half of football was pretty bad, I thought. His second half showed improvement. And maybe that's just the way this goes. Maybe one of these weeks he plays a full football game. Hopefully it's this week, man. Please, Watson, do us one solid and I will stop shit talking you. Like beat Anthony Brown. For the love of God.
Downtown Anthony Brown. And pointing out, Saquon looked a little gassed too. All these running backs they're full what's the girl? Lily Von Stoop from Blazing Saddles.
Yeah.
I'm tired. That's my German accent. What's up, Nutflush?
Nutflush.
I don't have a lot of takeaways from this. Burrow was okay. Watson, like you said, started slow. He looked better than last week. I think you might still get some return on him next year.
Yeah.
Like he could be good. Donovan Peoples-Jones had like 12 targets. That's what stuck out when I looked at box scores.
Yeah.
Like he's quickly becoming something. And Njoku's important. Like when he's been missing, the offense has gotten worse. That said, they only scored 10 points.
Yeah.
Not great when you have like 350 yards.
No, that's not good. I honestly don't know what to make of these guys. Two injuries of note in this one. Tyler Boyd with a finger and T. Higgins with a hammy. Circle those and follow them like your life depends on it if you are a Cincinnati Packer. They are who they are because of their unbelievable dynamic passing attack and all of the various weapons. And when all of a sudden your target share is 15 to Jamar Chase and the next most is 5 to Samaje Perine, that bad. It's a concern. It's a concern because guess what? The schedule doesn't get easier for the Bengals anytime soon. No. Their entire home stretch is hell. So they need to get healthy. They need those guys bigly. I'm excited, I'm very carefully following what's going on with that injury report because they draw at Tampa this week. We'll get to Tampa. I have some choice words for them as well. Jacksonville played their most complete game of the season, and they thrashed the Titans.
They kind of looked like a playoff team. Like this is, and that's still something that can happen, I guess, mathematically.
Just a few weeks too late, you mother effers.
What? To be fair, Tennessee is only like 2 games ahead of them in the standings, and they just beat them. Like, if Tennessee continues to flounder, they could take the NFC South path to the playoffs. But yeah, can't say enough nice things about Trevor Lawrence. He was great. They essentially didn't even have much of a running game. Didn't see the Evan Ingram game coming. I guess it's not like Tennessee is some massive tight end funnel.
They didn't used to be. Their safeties are really good.
Yeah, that was maybe more surprising, like, because T-Law has been up and down, but yeah, really, really, Trevor Lawrence might have. I'm just thinking quick. Who had the best quarterback? Is it crazy that, like, outside of Hurts, and I don't know if Hurts counts, but like Brock Purdy, Jared Goff, and Trevor Lawrence were the best quarterbacks? Man, Herbert was pretty.
Herbert was good. He was good. I mean, they were the cleanest. Mahomes was the best. That guy's, yeah. I don't know, man.
I know. I just take it for granted when he like runs and like pitches a ball completely sideways from his head.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well, Lawrence was amazing at long last. Evan Ingram showing up might be a sustainable thing. Definitely adds dimensions to what they're trying to do offensively, because for sure, if they just stick with the running game is still minus EV every snap, even when Etienne is having a good day, it's still a rough go. They're not getting any kind of push and pressure, or creating gaps. And Zay Jones being sort of your wide receiver one instead of Christian Kirk is weird. Marvin Jones Jr. probably doesn't need to be out there much more. I would just stick with the Zay Kirk Ingram show for now. Mix in a little Agnew. He's never had the same pop. He must have had an injury that just slowed him down to where he's not the same guy. All that said, T-Law was sick, and if he continues to play that way, Jacksonville Jaguars are not out of the South. There is Tennessee a realistic world where Tennessee finishes the season with 7 wins, which is wild. When you look at the Tennessee Titans' remaining schedule, Andy, who else are they beating besides the Texans? They have the Chargers, the Texans, the Cowboys, and the Jaguars remaining. Do they finish 1-3 and with an 8-9 record?
And the Texans looked kind of lively the other day.
They did. They could finish 0-4.
You would assume that this team can beat the Houston Texans at home, but the Cowboys are probably a bit too much for that secondary. Obviously, they just lost to the Jaguars at home. They closed the season on the road. 1-3 puts them at 8-9. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, what's their remaining schedule look like? This could be come down to the tiebreakers, because the Jaguars can have the Jets and Texans and Cowboys. So, like, the Titans Jaguars games being for the division would be kind of awesome. But I love having a week 18 game that means something.
Absolutely love it. Yeah, even if it's to get to 8 wins and win this terrible AFC South.
Well, it could be. Yeah, it could be. It could be a game where if Jacksonville wins, they would tie because they would go 8-9 for Tennessee and would have the double tiebreaker over them.
Yeah, that's your first. That's the first tiebreaker, I believe, is divisional head-to-head. So, and the second is overall divisional record. So the Titans would have them on divisional record because, amazingly, the Jaguars lost to the Texans, which is wild. Big. I mean, this is all potentially moot because if the Cowboys take care of business this week and beat the Jaguars, then maybe we're not.
I mean,
the
Jaguars.
Really entertaining this.
Jaguars could go. The Jaguars could go 2-1, lose to the Cowboys, beat the Jets and Texans, and you're sitting at 7-9. And if the Titans are sitting there at 8-8 in the last game, then a win over the Titans puts them both at 8-9, and you have the double tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So like
the Jags are not eliminated.
2-1 as long as the Titans go 1-2 or worse. Interesting. All right.
Interesting. My numbers say the Jaguars right now have a 21% chance to get it done. That sound low?
Yeah, I'm at 20. I'm at 26 just off the top of my head.
Okay.
Might have to run some stuff.
I need to go look at why I'm there. Wonder if I'm missing something. I guess it's the probability that the Titans win that game is a huge, right? Like the Jaguars are not obviously going to beat the Titans the same way.
No.
Titans could win that game. Yeah. Okay. That's why
I want that game to be meaningful. That's all I care about.
Yeah. It would be cool if the Jaguars were favorites too, and I could get off all of my Jaguar shit from the preseason because I would do it in a heartbeat. Anyway, Houston almost beat Dallas.
Didn't watch much of this.
No,
I had to go back because I didn't. Man, and I really was talking myself into Houston plus 17, and then it's like, oh man, like I don't know if Pierce is fully healthy, and they're going to be missing both their receivers. Like they might just get lambasted. They cashed their first half money line.
You know what's even funnier?
They should have won this game, honestly.
You know they should have won the game. But you know what's even funnier? I did bet a little Texans 17, and I saw them doing the 2 QB thing with Mills and Driscoll in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And I was like, I need to eject. I was like, this is what are we doing? What is happening? Why are we doing this? And it worked. I mean, you get to 23 points. Texans haven't looked that lively offensively in a long time. I really didn't like the way that they closed the game. They go for it on 4th and goal to try to score the touchdown. Don't get it, and then the Cowboys drove the field and won. Is that the way I'm reading this?
I like that they win for it. Like the 6-point lead probably doesn't do much for you at that point.
Okay, so the ultimate Dallas doesn't lose, so everybody kind of forgets what was going on here. But this was weird because there were a couple of drives. There was one drive where they gave Zeke Elliott the ball inside the goal line 4 times, and he got stoned. And they don't convert on 4th and goal.
Everybody must.
They gave it to Zeke a 4th time. There was a time in this game where Dak Prescott was just completely incapable of beating the Texans' pass defense. I'm not sure.
That pick,
yeah,
when he threw that pick late, like in his end, I'm like, this is done. This is fucking over.
Then the Texans put the game in the capable hands of Rex Burkhead.
Yeah,
and that didn't go well.
Look at this. I think I win $100,000 if this happens. Remember that? I bet like $25 on this exact matchup.
I remember. I just wish we knew which podcast. I just wish we knew which podcast it was that we talked about that. Was that our summary pod?
Dan has the notes clipped. Yeah. It'll be funny if they both.
We might have made a graphic about it. You might have made a graphic about it. We'll look into this. I'm excited. All right. Miami. No, let's go to Seattle. Let's go to the afternoon games before we talk about the night game. Carolina played their most complete game of the season, and they are live as well. They could win the NFC South, particularly if they play as well as they played in Seattle on Sunday. I was miserable watching this one for lots of reasons, as you could guess. I don't want to be colored by my bias here and say that this was more about the Panthers coming in and playing a complete game than it is about Seattle really continuing to show just significant flaws, particularly with their run defense. They got out physicaled. The Panthers wanted this one. They're going for on 4th downs. Late in this game, they wanted it badly. With the lead, rather than padding their lead with field goals, they're going for on 4th downs to try to create more of a gap. So it's like they were up for this game, and Seattle kind of played like they were ultimately going to figure out a way to win. I thought they were going to win. 4th quarter comes to they get to stop the goal line. 4th quarter comes around. I'm like, Seattle's been the best 4th quarter offense in all of football this year. Like, here we go again. And they just never had any rhythm. I don't know if it was just a bad play calling for what Gino was capable of doing that day, or him having a bad day in general. His stat line didn't really reflect sort of the quality of play that I saw with the eyeball test.
He was a little off. He was off. They were missing their star young running back. Homer wasn't up to the challenge. Schefter took the bag from like a DFS company or somebody and just lied about Tony Jones Jr. starting. And then, like you said, their run defense was bad. It's continued to show some cracks. Hubbard and Deontay Foreman both had decent days. Pretty efficient running day. And then like Darnold didn't have to do that much.
Yeah.
That's how you want it.
You know when I knew Seattle was in trouble? When they couldn't get off the field because Raheem Blackshear was gaping them. It was like, oh shit. Like you can't stop Raheem Blackshear, a practice squad player that the Panthers just picked up from the friggin' Bills. Like, this is a bad sign. Darnold was not even that good in this game, and it didn't matter.
He didn't have to do much.
Didn't matter. The four passes that he threw in that goal to go series where they went for it, awful. Just awful. I don't know what they were thinking, but his decision making was terrible in that moment, and that's when I thought the Panthers had a chance. The Seahawks had a chance. Didn't really ever manifest. Some of the Seahawks struggling. I'm nervous. It's about rookies hitting the rookie wall, and that this is a longer term trend as opposed to something that is going to be imminently fixable. But they still have a healthy set of wide receivers, and actually are getting even better play out of Goodwin, who is adding to the the depth there. But Metcalf and Lockett are all awesome. Yeah, awesome. And Goodwin, add him to the mix. You don't have running backs, big deal. Like, that's not how you should be trying to win football games anyway. Just put the ball in these guys' hands and let them cook. I think, Seahawks Niners is going to be a really interesting handicap this week, and I'm fascinated to hear if you have early thoughts on that. Niners were very, 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 very good in all facets of the game. Yeah.
Will we ever, and you can presume this man has a career as long as the man he faced across the field. Will we ever see Brock Purdy play this well again? It feels like he peaked too early.
It's possible.
Like the
was
wildest
weird.
thing about this game was, so Drew, and maybe I should be giving Shanahan credit rather than acting incredulous about this, but what is conventional NFL wisdom, which, like, we all know maybe isn't the best way to go about things, when you have a young, inexperienced, maybe underdrafted quarterback? What do you do? And not only that, but you have like three great running backs and guys who are great with the ball in their hands. Yeah. You play a conservative game plan.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Shanahan went out with his most aggressive game plan we've ever seen. This conservative game plan has like cost him playoff games, cost him Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And he goes out there with Brock fucking Purdy, and it's like, man, they really should just, try to get 10 more yards and kick a field goal here. And he has Purdy throwing to the end zone. He has Purdy slinging it to the corner to Christian McCaffrey. And he's, to Purdy's credit, he was making all the throws.
He was.
And I didn't understand the game plan. I didn't hate it. I had the Niners, but it was puzzling. I didn't know what to make of that.
Several thoughts.
And he ran the ball well, yes.
Number one, Shanahan understood the way that you beat Todd Bowles' defense.
Yeah.
Todd Bowles' defense is aggressive, and he matched aggressiveness with aggressiveness in a way that the Rams, Shannon clearly studied the way that McVay schemed and played the Bucs both times last year. And there was a lot of that sort of stuff in there. A lot of similarities between the stuff they were trying to run. The Purdy actually executing it was a surprise. All right. But the fact that Shanahan had the confidence to tell Purdy to go do that stuff and believed that he could means that there's something he's seen with Purdy practicing that he is like, this will work. Right. Like, he's not going into that with an aggressive game plan if he doesn't think that Purdy's got a chance to execute it. And he did. He did it very, very well. Maybe the first play of the game where Purdy got bull rushed and Keanu Neal hit him in the helmet. Just Purdy was unconscious.
It was like
Purdy was unconscious.
A rookie of the year situation where it's like funky butt loving. All of a sudden I have a rocket arm. And Brian, to your point about the Ayuk catch.
Yeah.
Like he did have a big chunk of pressure in his face. The fact that he even got it over the cornerback there, but I mean, it was underthrown. And Tampa Bay's defense, they looked incredibly beatable.
Yes.
And I wanted your take on this. Who had the better tip it to yourself interception, Dre Greenlaw or Willie Gay?
Dre Greenlaw was
so good.
They were both. They were both very
They didn't make linebackers like this when we were young.
No.
Linebackers were just huge guys with neck rolls that hit you if you made it through the line. Linebackers weren't covering 30 yards down the field back in the 90s. Like, these linebackers are so athletic. And Willie, credit to Willie Gay, but Dre Greenlaw's was probably better. And they were both so good.
Ricky Flower brings up a good point. That was a design cheat shot. It did feel a little bit like it was like they were trying to just rattle him a little early in the game, like they were trying to hit him. There were a handful of Buccaneers defensive plays, especially that I thought were kind of dirty early on. But you know who was all over that, Andy? The refs. That was a very lopsided call in the first half of that game, I thought. Some ticky-tack stuff took points off the board for the Bucks. Some extended some drives for the Niners. But the Bucks
interception.
That was the
softest holding call. That guy fell down.
What was? Did you see the Donovan Smith hold that brought back the Evans touchdown?
Yeah,
I'm still looking for it.
That one was borderline.
On every
the interception
play.
one was worse.
Yeah, the interception was worse.
That said, even with all that stuff going the other way, Niners win this by 20?
Yes. So that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, man, refs.
It just made it look a lot worse.
Refs are making this game one-sided, and then I was like, this was a one-sided game regardless. It's nothing to really be all that upset about here.
McCaffrey was very good.
McCaffrey was amazing
every time he touched the ball.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought just in general, what a poor way to back up what was a very, very huge win that the Bucks got last time out. Like, man, talk about giving it all back. And I've said this a couple times today now, so apologies if you've already heard us, but the Panthers were a DJ Moore taking off his helmet away from beating the Falcons. And the Saints win that game against the Bucks on Monday Night Football 99 times out of 100.
Yeah.
Those two results flip, and you're talking about Panthers are in control of their division. Forget about live. Like, they are in control of the NFC South.
And not only that,
with a game in hand head against the Bucks.
The Falcons have had like 4 close losses too.
Yeah, Falcons too.
The Bucks are super lucky to even be leading this division at this point against basically all the other teams.
Super lucky. They have the Bengals, Cardinals, Panthers, Falcons left on their schedule. What price would you need to bet Bucks playoff bill right now?
Good to -110.
Oh, wow.
They're dead.
You think it's 50-50?
I'd have to look, but
what a far cry from 1 week ago with that crazy emotional comeback against the Saints.
3-1.
It was like, oh, now they're the team nobody wants to play. You think 3-1? 3-1's bettable.
Yeah.
All right, I'm there too.
It's close.
Okay. Let me see what the number is. By the way,
all right. So I'll start in on what's that leave us with? Just the Broncos Chiefs, which was looking like an absolute ass whooping. Was that 27-0 at a certain point?
Yes, there were 27 unanswered points by the Chiefs to start, and then 21 unanswered points by the Broncos to fall.
Yeah, I guess if you're Denver and you're looking forward to next season with your new coach, there's maybe a glimmer of hope for you Broncos fans. Wilson looked serviceable. That's about as good as he's looked for 3 or 4 drives in a row.
Probably the last game you're going to see him all season.
Months, yeah. And at this point, if he's even a little dinged up, there's no reason to be playing him.
You know how you know he's dinged up?
Because his eyes were crossed when he got up out of that hit.
And because
I was almost like
the knot on his head was about the size of a small grapefruit.
Full Scottie
yeah.
Pippen.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, like that was one of those. The last time we saw a quarterback just not knowing where he was that bad. Besides, that wasn't a Dolphin from this season.
Yeah,
was probably that Flacco hit a couple years back.
Yeah,
where he put his finger
against
up.
the Dolphins.
Yeah,
check please. Yes, check please. Yeah. Joe Flacco asked him for the check.
He's not in protocol. He's like straight on fucking concussed. There's no there's no way he's not concussed.
He's in a dark room right now, hopefully.
Yeah, like he's getting treatment. Hopefully he's fine and he doesn't take too many more of those ever. But yeah, I would figure he might be taking a break for the season.
Yeah. On the other hand, Mahomes was sloppy at times in this game. People will point to the interceptions. A couple of the interceptions. Did you see the second Jewel interception?
That was just a great snag.
It was just a great snag. I don't think he tipped it to himself, but there was a bunch of good picks today. Ricky, I wouldn't worry about it. Did you see how Brett Rippon played? Yuck. It was not good. Broncos had a chance to win that game if Brett Rippon doesn't arm punt, I think, with the chance to put it away. Speaking of putting it away, Chiefs did one of the things that you see them do against a lot of bad teams, which is they get the ball with like 6 minutes left in the game, and you're like, okay, go drive and score and put this one away. And instead, they managed to wipe out the entire clock without even really threatening to score. Like that, I don't understand how they do it.
No, it's almost like here's a 9-play, 11-yard drive that took 6 minutes off the clock. What even is that?
10 plays. They went 49 yards.
10 plays, 49 yards.
And they wiped out 421 to end the game.
Yeah.
How, and you know what else is even funnier about this, Andy? The coaching is the funnier part. Who is the least likely coach you would expect to be able to manage the time this mathematically well at the end of a game? It's Andy Reid.
Because it's the opposite of taking timeouts. Running the time away is the antithesis of using your timeouts. It's anti-timeout. So I guess he gets it.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was still fun as shit. And Chiefs move on to not clinch the AFC West because the Chargers were able to get it done against the Dolphins as dogs on Sunday Night Football. What about the Miami Dolphins' approach to running offense in this game were you the least impressed by? Because it's a long list.
Doesn't the offense just look a lot better if Tua doesn't have the worst day? It just every ball he threw seemed like it was going to hit the receiver in the back, or he was just really
he had an
bad.
extra shot putty. He had an extra shot putty spin on his ball last night, no doubt.
It was super rough.
Do you think he's got some sort of weird injury that is affecting his mechanics? Because they look like they have what do you want to call it? Decomposing? I don't know. That's not the right word. He's regressing mechanically. From what
his mechanics look bad.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, status for him health wise going forward. You got to read? Because I feel like if he's not out there. Because Waddle's not right. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. But
Waddle's
he's not right.
Still hurt from like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
If Waddle and Hill aren't 100%, and Tua, even if Tua comes back to median Tua, this offense is going to be much worse because that's what's carried it. It's just like their ability to make plays in that system.
So
I do want to give the Chargers credit. I said this morning to Noops. I said maybe I just haven't seen him play fully healthy and with Keenan Allen enough. But I left the game like thinking, is Mike Williams the best wide receiver in football right now? Like every play he made was like, well, that was a really, really good catch that was contested. And
when healthy, he's clearly top 10. His body
control And the way he did that thing where he was so heavily covered and just worked his way around the cornerback to come back. Like Allen too. Both receivers were so good.
Yeah. So here's the thing about Sam brought it up, Gil as well. Solak mentioned it on his timeline, and it's absolutely it was very, very. It was most apparent to me in the Niners game because they have big physical corners and they were really, really getting physical with Hill in particular. I thought because he's smaller, and that's a completely fair approach to go after Hill because if you let him get up ahead of steam, you're screwed. If you have him in open space, you're not tackling him. And I think realistically, the Brandon Staley ran a lot of shell in this one, and in that system, facing that type of a defense, I would have expected Tua to succeed because you're not asking him to do the really hard stuff. You're just asking him to do the easy stuff, manage the game, and kind of get it done over the middle of the field in the short intermediate range. And Tua, that was like kind of the thing that he had in his back pocket coming into this year, I thought. Right? Like I thought that if there was one thing you could count him to do, it was that. And the fact that he didn't even look good against, like the opposite of Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson apparently will never learn how to defeat the shell. Never. He relies way too much on getting in deep over the middle type of stuff. And that's specifically what it's designed to take away. Right. And so I guess I was surprised like that, and especially when you have a week to prepare on the road, you get your mini camp opportunity, staying West Coast after a tough loss to the Niners. Tough as in like you got exposed to a degree. Like you need to go back to the drawing board a little bit, McDaniel, and you need to figure some things out and come up with some new looks here. And you're going up against a team that really can't defend the run at all. And I get it that like you didn't have a clean game in terms of lots of chances to like really run your offense the way you would want to, because the Chargers were doing a really good job of playing keep away from you, and your defense was not getting anywhere close to the type of pressure and disruption it should have gotten. But just so many 3-and-outs, so many disappointing drives ending in punts.
And somebody in the chat just brought it up too. Taylor Rogers says the Jeff Wilson injury is actually noteworthy. Yeah, him going out with the hip injury in the second quarter, that didn't help because, like you said, it's a team you should be able to run against. And Wilson and Mostert probably aren't great RB1s, but the combination of them is usually enough against a bad running defense. And it was a bad, I don't want to say it was a bad game plan for McDaniel, who maybe we suck off too much, but like it kind of was. He didn't adjust well.
It was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, it was poor adjustments. And then just it wasn't like this horrific game plan that was just a disaster, but it was a bad game plan or below average, let's say, that was exacerbated by Tua shot putting, Jeff Wilson getting hurt, Waddle not coming into the game 100%, and Tyreek kind of the same situation. So, tough cookies.
You know what else is not good? When your defense is conceding 15 play 78-yard drives. That ended in downs, by the way. They didn't even score on that one. Then in the next one, 8-play, 42-yard drive. Later on in that half, a 13-play, 90-yard drive for a touchdown for the Chargers. Second half, you had a 6-play, 90. Sorry, that one wasn't even that noteworthy. You had a 17-play, 79-yard drive that ate 9 minutes of clock when you were at a deficit. They basically played absolutely smother you keep away on that one drive where they're up. They ended up going up, not 2 scores at the end of it. But Justin Herbert completed a 3rd and 5 pass for 9 yards. He completed a 3rd and 3 pass for 5 yards. He completed a 3rd and 8 for 10 yards. And in the end, in the end, it was sort of it was good Herbert, which is he's just absolutely elite on those late down, high leverage moments.
Well, like that throw, I can't remember. I think it was Keenan Allen, that throw to the left sideline where he was working his way over, and it's like he had his arm there, and there was a zip line between the arm and the receiver's arm, and the ball was just suddenly there. And even when he just pointed back at him, like, there were some really good throws. This is the level of Herbert they need to see if they're hoping that this is like a long-term, team that can compete with the Chiefs.
Let's answer Brian's question.
We both clicked on it at the same time.
Go ahead.
But yeah, Brian asked thoughts on Chargers AFC Super Bowl futures. Bosa is close to returning. Slater, they've said, can be back this year. And then Derwin James, yeah, that's not a big issue. I do not believe enough in this coaching to take those futures in a tough AFC. I think there might be some value. It's just not for me. And just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for you. This team is incredibly talented. If you think they can overcome the coaching and some of the hiccups and the curse that this team is under after apparently their first stadium was built on a Native American burial ground, that's not a fact. I just assume that.
Assume it. Fair to assume.
Assume that. So maybe, but yeah, this Gil's saying the same thing. I'd like it a lot more if the Chargers didn't have the Chargers history.
Yeah, if they weren't the Chargers, I would think about it, I guess. No, silly. We can kind of divorce ourselves a little bit from the hyperbole, but your main point, which is, can you trust this coaching? Maybe Staley comes up with a great game plan and gets you a playoff win against a good team because of the defensive scheming. But I'll be goddamned if Lombardi comes up with a winning approach as an offensive mind. It is a bad.
Their third and fourth down plays when the distance to go is under 3 yards are abhorrent. like you may as well kneel or just throw the ball deep. Like, you should throw a Hail Mary on those plays. It would be better.
Arm punt, yes. I like it.
It's like, why are we running 1 yard routes on 3rd and 3? It's not just like the one they threw to. It's like 3 guys running 1 yard routes.
You're not getting each other's way.
Quadruple reverse. Yeah. Let's run something unique here.
The scheme is atrocious. If there is one coaching change that I would like to see, it is the offensive coordinator to be replaced for the Chargers by whatever means necessary. And if they win too many playoff games and that doesn't happen, it's going to be bad for us as football fans, really. Like, we want Herbert to be with a good, in a better scheme. Like, it's not good. Do not love. Chargers should have had more than 23 points yesterday. Like, Chargers should have scored, I don't know, 30. It was, and I get it. Like, first drive of the game, they ended on the 4th and goal. They don't get it. But it's what you said. Like, it's just a 4th and 2. Justin Herbert pass short left to Carter for no gain. You know what I like to do on 4th and 2 at the goal, Andy? Throw it short of the goal line. Why? You
really, really got to like a play.
Why?
To get away with that.
Why?
Second only to the Derek Carr fourth down throwaway.
Yeah. So that's the first part of the answer to Brian's question, which is that the coaching is a problem. The second part of the question is they're going to be on the road for the duration. They're going to have to go and play some. Really. They can't win the division. They're going to have to go on the road, and Herbert is going to have first playoff jitters probably. I mean, I know
Staley
he's broken.
First playoff game, Herbert's first playoff game. It's a lot.
Yeah, and if they, I mean, there's a lot that Herbert has kind of broken the mold on in terms of, like, you typically expect this from a young quarterback.
Bad haircuts.
Bad haircut. Well, he
grew it back.
He grew it back, but he also, he made the mold for young quarterbacks getting bad haircuts. But he's, the weird stuff, like better under pressure than he is in a clean pocket, and better on late downs than he is on early down. Like, that type of stuff is kind of wild about Herbert. And maybe he goes into a playoff game and he is like, late. He's like peak Peyton Manning kind of an operator out there. But I need to see him. I need to see him have some. Need to see him have some playoff reps first before I really get involved with them long term. even though the prices are pretty decent.
All right, let's should we take a look at a few. Yeah, let's take a look at a few of next week's games real quick. The Niners are 3.5-point favorites.
They were
Thursday night.
I guess you can still get 3.5 some places.
Yeah, it's at Chris has 3.505 right now.
Yeah. You gotta lay 115 if you want the Seahawks side of that.
I think I like the Seahawks there, but
yeah,
I do want to hear. I don't think there's like a chance Debo plays.
No, Debo.
Yeah,
Debo's. We're talking like maybe comes back for the playoffs now.
That ankle probably like 4 weeks minimum.
6.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think it was a high ankle. It wasn't broke.
No, it wasn't broken. Yeah, it was a high ankle. Yeah, I heard 6 to 7.
Yeah, like I'd love to play the Seahawks because this is too much for a divisional game at home versus a quarterback you should be selling high on. But man, the game plan for the 49ers is just too easy here. If this rush defense keeps regressing, Christian McCaffrey, whatever you guys want to set his prop at, I will probably bet a little bit on the over. The game plan is get him the ball 30 times on the ground or through the air, which that's too many. But even 20 touches combined, the Niners win this game. He's going to be pretty successful in anything he does. Basically, just you need Brock to not come too far back to earth. Don't give this game away on the road. It's an incredibly tough place to play. It's going to be a wild, raucous atmosphere. It's going to be tough. But yeah. I have no interest in laying it here.
I nibbled a little Seattle plus 3.5 when it was a flat 3.5 because of the concern that Purdy may not go, and in which case this is the Josh Johnson show.
That's a horse of a different color.
At which point should Josh Johnson be laying 3.5 on the road? No. Also, there's
that Brock Purdy shouldn't be laying 3.5.
There's in prime time in Seattle. Not a great spot necessarily for a young quarterback. Also, the Niners have cluster injury going on right now at defensive back, and they're going up against a team that has 3 very good wide receivers.
So is this total a little low?
That's a good point. So the Seahawks, I think we got to revisit this at halftime.
I think both teams will be able to do what they do best on offense.
Yeah, they should.
You have 3 good receivers against the cluster injury. You have, honestly, 2 still without Debo. You still have 2 good running backs and a good running scheme, a good short passing scheme against a team that can't defend that. And yeah, I'm going to play this over. Another Thursday over that I'm going to lose. I'm on it. 43.5, 110.
The big play potential is real in this one too. Seattle's defense was on the field for 40 minutes yesterday. Now they got to turn around in a short week and fix a bunch of problems. I don't know.
And that's the thing. As Ricky brings up, Seattle doesn't really have a running game right now.
That's kind of a good thing.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
I'm not sure it matters against what you'd want to do against his defense. Let Tino cook.
Yeah, and in fact, the opposite of if your running game's not going well, it's kind of good to take a running back away from Pete Carroll. Yeah,
and I really do think Seattle's going to be chasing most of this game, so they're going to have to throw, which kind of plays into their hand. Close game. I like the over. Not a strong play, but I'm going to play it anyway. Saturday football, the Ravens and the Browns get together. It'd be Watson's 3rd game. He is a home favorite, 2.5. What was supposed to be a top 5 quarterback, the savior of Cleveland, the mistake on the lake, is now laying 2.5 to whatever quarter. Downtown Anthony Brown. Do we kind of just have to bet Deshaun Watson?
I think so. I think so. I mean, if this is a switcheroonie and Lamar shows up, this flips to Baltimore minus 2.5 probably, right?
Yeah.
I still kind of like Cleveland in that.
I don't think you have to
be on the wrong side. I don't want to. Yeah, but I don't want to be on the. Yeah, right. That's a good point. We're talking asymmetrical moves here only. right? Like, I mean, I don't think realistically Cleveland closes over 3, but they could.
It's leaning towards 3.
Yeah,
but again, I'm fine betting over 3.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind laying 3. I don't want only 3.5 necessarily. Obviously, you want the best price. Enter the market at the right time. Don't just take this for granted. But if Lamar Jackson is even trending in because like he's practicing, then you're going to get a better price than 2.5 minus 116. I think.
Yep. All right, Colts, Vikings laying 4, leaning towards 4.5.
Yeah.
A little higher total in this one, 47.5. I forgot to mention the last one, 37.5. With the Browns running game doing bupkis and Watson trying to find that midseason form late in the season. Vikings defense should have a little more luck against this offense.
I think so.
But is this a defense the Vikings can play well against?
I think so.
I think this number's fair. Again, the Vikings are not great. They're not this juggernaut. They're a middle of the pack, slightly above average team.
Yeah.
4 is about perfect. I don't have a move in this one. Total's about right.
All right. So how much worse than an average team are the Colts for you? Because they're a lot worse than an average team for me.
I think they're probably 3 points worse than average. It's really bunched up at the bottom, bud, for me.
Okay.
Like you can make a case. That's why I think that this, like, if they're not off a bye, maybe this is 5, and that's fair. But like this number's pretty fair.
Okay.
If this got out to 6.5, I'd bet the Colts. If this are down to the 3, I'd probably take the Vikes. But this is where it should be.
Okay.
Do you have some edge here? You think?
Yeah, I'm laying here with Minnesota.
I'd almost be more comfortable with Minnesota team total over, just because they're continuously fuck ups lately. But
yeah. Okay. I'm going to continue.
I don't fault you.
Marinate on this. I'm going to continue to marinate on this. Circa's got
Especially
a 3.5. So
4.
yeah. Circa's got 3.5 out there. So if you want that, that's available. Yeah, I'm not convinced that the Colts have a fight in them in this game. Maybe that's on me. Maybe that's my own bias.
Ricky using the urn emoji.
Ooh. The last time we saw the Colts, I don't know if you remember what happened, Andy. It was Sunday Night Football. And the Dallas Cowboys scored 33 unanswered points.
Let's save some of this for Wednesday. Let's not go. Let's spin a little quick here. I got to get home for supper. Bills laying 7.5 to the Dolphins.
Yep, we'll bet a flat 7 if it shows.
Yeah, pretty much. Total's probably right there. That's it for your Saturday threesome. Commanders, Giants. Do they only have division games now for the NFC East every single week?
They did this last year too.
Total of 40 actually might be a touch high here. If the Commanders defense shows up and limits Saquon, it's kind of
Andy,
a matchup for the Commanders probably favored by 4 is about right.
Yeah, these teams played recently. Do you remember how many points were scored?
About 40. Could we see another tie?
Exactly 40. 20-20 in that game. Commanders are pass for me on this one.
Yeah. Oh, and excuse me, this did get flexed out. I'm just reading an order on Bookmaker. But this is the Sunday night game, which is whatever. I don't care. It's a division game. It'll be hard fought. And there's some things I like about the Commanders. I'll be cheering for them.
Oh, I was confused as shit. I thought you meant it got flexed out of being the Sunday night game. This was flexed in?
I don't know if it was flexed in. I think maybe it always was. Like
no. It was flexed in, and Patriots Raiders was flexed out. We don't get to see McDaniels. Fair. McDaniels against his former mentor,
Jets.
The hoodie. Anyway.
Our 1 point favorites, barely. This is essentially a pick 'em.
We want to see Dallas Jacksonville. They should flex Dallas Jacksonville. Fuck, that's the best game of Sunday.
Probably. Jets Lions, no take. Lions.
That's a pretty good game too.
Yeah, Goff probably plays worse because it's outdoors, on the road, in the weather. Total
Oh God.
Total's probably right. I'm fine with this one.
Mike
Don't want no
White.
part of it.
Mike White has broken ribs, and this could be the Flacco or Zach Wilson show, man. I kind of want to take Lions.
I wonder
and
if
just
that's why the Cowboys
see if the market
signed
moves.
Ty. They said Lamar or Flacco can still do it. Certainly Ty has some gas in the tank. Chiefs, big favorites, 14-point favorites. They must be at home, right? No, it's in Houston. Boy, no respect for this Houston team. Not off 1 week, and yeah, the Chiefs can probably have their way here if kind of monitor Collins, monitor Cook, see if we get it, see if we get any receivers in this game. But the Chiefs maybe are comfortable just coasting again, especially in a road game here. It'd be Texans or nothing, which means for the second week, I'm not betting the Texans game. Total of 49.
Can the Chiefs get there?
I might be live betting this, depending on how the game state is. There might be some live action in this total.
Yeah.
The Bears are also almost double-digit home dogs. 9.5. The Eagles head to Chicago. I think this is pretty much locks up everything if the Eagles can win this one.
I want the points with the Bears in this. Do you think I'll get 10 if I wait, or is this going to go down? I guess it's not going to go across 8.5, right?
See the injury news for the Bears. See who's healthy.
You know who's not is Lane Johnson going to be a week-to-weeker.
Yeah,
he matters for the pass.
There's a chance I like this over.
The Eagles still have issues with the running attack. I think. With their running defense. I think Chicago could push those buttons and get a little bit going on the ground here with Fields getting another week to get healthy.
Yeah.
I like Chicago getting the points.
Yeah, that's a lot at home in Bears weather. That's probably the way for me too. Bears or nothing. Bears team total would be like 20, if that, maybe a 19.
Frisky.
I think they're frisky. They're frisky in garbage time. That might be
no Mooney, right? This is all Claypool show. Claypool.
I don't think so. If Mooney played, I don't think it'd be this big. Not that a receiver should be worth that much. The spread. Panthers,
St. Brown. You're going to see a lot of him in this game. A lot of Cole Kmet.
Worst of the St. Browns. Carolina Panthers, 2.5-point favorites this late this season. Total 38 over the Steelers. Need to hear about Pickett before I bet this game.
Yeah. If this is Trubisky, no thank you. If it's Pickett, sign me up for a good. I'll happily take the points.
Yeah, sell high on the Panthers. They're still not a great team. It was a good performance. Proud of them. The Jags getting 5 at home in Duval versus the Cowboys coming off an embarrassing win.
Yeah.
That's total enough. 48.
Yeah. That's enough to get me involved points wise.
I think I have enough time to Jacksonville. I'm done.
You're good with Jacksonville. You have enough.
I have enough Jacksonville liability and other things. We're good. But I agree with you. It'd be Jacks or nothing. Chargers laying 3 to the Titans. Derrick Henry had a good game. Quietly lost in the blowout. Henry looked freshish. He looked decent. He got involved in the passing game too. Is this the Chargers can't stop him and just embarrass himself off of win?
It kind of feels like that's possible.
Yeah, there's a decent chance I'm on Titans money line in this one.
Oh, god damn.
No home field. There's just no home field, and Derrick Henry looked pretty decent last week.
Yeah, so did
that said.
So did the passing game. So did the passing game for the Chargers, though, by the way.
Yeah. So maybe this total's a little low at
45. We gotta rely on Lombardi.
Yeah, that's the worst part. Is it's a Chargers game. So I lean Titans, lean over. No bet yet. Bengals, Bucks. Bengals laying 4 on the road with 2 of their 3 receivers injured and Joe Mixon healthy. Boy, do I not want to bet the Bucks, but the Bucks are the side here. Vita Vea injury news wasn't super promising, was it?
No.
I think he's out again.
Yes. And also, you know what actually matters a ton for the Bucks defense is their safeties.
Yeah, they've been beat up bad in the back end.
Yeah, they have really struggled without Edwards and Winfield in the back. Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal not getting the job done. Carlton Davis, I believe I saw, hit the injury report as well. So decent little cluster injury going on for the secondary for the Buccaneers. Really just the defense
self
for the
ban on the
Buccaneers.
Bucks. Like that's I think all the injuries to the defense is probably enough to talk me out of that one.
Mm-hmm.
We already went over Sunday night. Monday night, the Packers are laying 7 to the Rams. Give me John Wolford.
Are they going to go with Wolf? Are they going?
I have no idea. We need a little more clarity on that. And I just got a Fantasy Life notification. Debo is expected to return at some point during the regular season.
Whoa. I was very wrong.
Adamantium. Well, they could be like week 18. You could be not off by that much.
I heard 6 to 7.
Purdy is day to day. Sounds like he's probably going.
Purdy is day to day. Well, he's only got 2 days to get right. So best of luck to him. All right. Well, I don't know who the quarterback's going to be for the Rams, so I don't think I can bet that game.
Yeah, I can't bet it this early.
Do you have what would you do?
What would you? Was that a show?
Yeah.
Nickelodeon.
Sure.
What would you do?
Baker seems to.
Baker looked good a little at the end, but I'd still rather see Wolford.
McVay already said Baker's expected to start the rest of the season. Interesting.
I don't love that.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to bet that game. No, thanks. Yeah, there's better things to do with my week than bet that. Let's close the book here. Andy, give me your your World Cup predictions real quick.
So what's the first one? What is tomorrow? That's all.
Tina, Croatia.
I like goals in that one. I know I saw my guy Heck. He liked the goals in that one too. That made me feel better about that. I think we see some wide open play there after the first goal. Might be cagey at first, but I think after a score, it opens up a little. I'd like to see a higher scoring match. I'd like to see Argentina get through. And then Dan says under.
He's going against the experts.
Yeah, I'm down like 6 units. And
that's
then
not bad. Yeah.
Morocco plays.
You're not maxing out at penny like $2 million a unit, right?
No, thank you.
Okay, that's good.
Morocco is playing with the ultimate team. I don't know, like that. Their defense just because defense sucks. Like you've played pickup basketball.
Sure.
Anyone who's played basketball, anything like soccer, especially, defense sucks. Defense is effort. Offense is skill and, muscle memory, I guess, but defense is all effort. And this team is not only playing just like max effort constantly, they're always in the right position. Every ball into the box it's like, well, if that guy didn't boot it, there's 3 guys right behind him. Like they're playing so well defensively and then just taking the chances when they can. It's still like the best team left in the tournament. But man, we've been doing this an awful lot. I feel like it's an under. Like it just ends either, you end up France 1-0 or like France in extra time. God's sake, we get to penalties, then anything can happen. If you're France, you can't be letting it get to penalties because you have very good penalty takers. But I mean, Morocco's shown they do too, and anybody can beat anybody in penalties, unless you're Japan, I guess.
Isn't Morocco dealing with an injury to an important player and a red card to an important player?
I'm not 100% sure on that red card if that clears or not.
No, it doesn't. He's out for this game.
Because this is like the round that everything resets, I thought. So he's out.
Chidira.
Yeah, he was normal. He's a sub.
Chidira is out. Oh, he is? Oh, okay. Chidira is out. And then Argentina, there's 2 guys that are out.
So it's red cards don't reset, but it was 2 yellows, Dan.
Acuna is out on yellows for Argentina, and Montiel is out for Argentina on yellows. Acuna was pretty important in their game against the Netherlands. He was everywhere.
I think the dream matchup unless you just love Cinderella, is probably France, Argentina. That's so fun.
Yeah, I think so too.
Messi, Mbappe,
golden ball.
If Argentina makes the final, like Messi's super live. But man, it's Giroud or Mbappe are very live.
Did you think? What did you think was going on with Mbappe? Kind of no showing against England. Did you even see him out there?
He can't do it all, bud.
He didn't do anything though. Forget about all of it. He didn't do any of it.
He's French. No offense, food snob. I don't know. England's tough. England's a tough team. Like that was the toughest match they've had.
They probably should have won.
England, yeah, don't miss the penalty.
England was a lot better.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty evenly matched. Just don't miss the penalty in your extra time. So, all right. I'm going to go eat some leftover fajitas. I think fajitas.
Mbappe was playing decoy.
Decoy Metcalf.
Decoy Metcalf.
If you joined us live in the afternoon, sorry we didn't do this yesterday. Hopefully you found some value from this. If you did, please subscribe and hit the thumbs up on the way out. If you're listening to this podcast form, get your hands back on the wheel, asshole. It's winter. If you're in the north, give it extra braking distance.
Yes.
Leave extra distance between you and the car in front of you. And you know what? Leave a few minutes early so you're not rushing through the winter weather. If you live in the south, suck my ass. I guess. I got 7 inches of snow. I drew as Bermuda. Kids love it. So, all right.
It's cold here, man. It rained today. It's 50 degrees.
I think it's like it's nice here. It's awful. Warm. We just got a lot of snow. So,
okay. We'll
catch you guys at halftime for Arizona. If you're listening to this after that game, we'll catch you at halftime for Thursday. And not to mention a Wednesday break.
Wednesday, so.
Yeah. Do you want to do Saturday prime time, or are you going to be too wasted at the holiday party?
My in-laws are in town all day, so I will be dressing a couple racks of lamb